Okay, so I made this crazy decision to homeschool my children, and at the time, um, this is at a time when, you know, life was going back to normal. Kids were going back to school, and, parents were going back to work. Everything, like the world was going back to normal. And here I am making this crazy decision to homeschool my kids. And nobody that I know homeschooled. Um, I didn't know anybody who was homeschooled as a child, even. And so naturally, the first thing I did was hit up the internet. I needed to figure out how I was going to do this. First of all, I needed to figure out legally how I was going to do it. Like, is this legal? Am I allowed to? To be 100% honest, before I learned the homeschooling laws or stature for my state, I thought that the only way you were allowed to homeschool your kid is if you had a teaching degree. I didn't know anything otherwise. And so I started doing research and watched YouTube videos and um, slowly started to figure out what we were going to do. And started buying curriculum and things like that. But really, I still kind of had no idea. I just leaned into my faith, and I had a feeling that this is something that God was calling me to do. And I prayed about it a lot. I had conversations with my husband and my siblings, and to be honest, my husband was not on board in the beginning with my decision to homeschool. Um, it took a lot of conversations with him. He was also public schooled, and he did not understand my decision to homeschool in the beginning. He didn't understand why. He, of course, the number one question that everyone always asks about homeschooling is, what about socialization? What about friends? How are they gonna know how to interact with other people if, me and my children are the only people that we see every day, and things like that. And of course, that's everyone's fear in the beginning. Um, but now I know that there's co-ops, and we are a part of a co-op. My children do extracurriculars. Um, we see family, we get out, we go to church. We're not stuck in the house all day every day, and we see it and communicate and hang out with other people. So my kids are socialized, but that was my husband's fear, that my kids were not going to have friends or know how to interact with people. um and it took a lot of conversations and a lot of convincing on my part to him, and just praying together, and me praying to God, like, if this is the decision that, you want me to make, Lord, then you're help my husband see my heart and the reason why I chose this. I made a list of reasons why I chose to homeschool, and I refer to that list when it's hard, when I need to remember my whys. I actually got that idea from Ashley's channel, from Grace and Grit. She made a list, and that was one of the very early videos I remember watching. And I remember asking myself, why do I want to do this? What are my reasons? And I feel like that is kind of private. I mean, some of my reasons are kind of private. I would like to keep that to myself, but I do recommend anybody who is thinking about homeschooling, you need to make a list of your whys. And um, Ashley from Grace and Grit, she did recommend that you keep your list, and I kept my list, and I do reference back to it sometimes. Homeschooling is not easy, especially when I have to work full time. And I do reference that list, and I shared that with my husband. And once he was on board, he really understood why. um, I continued on with it. But there are some people who don't understand my decision, who don't agree with my decision. But for the most part, I have a lot of support. I have my brother and sister in law who also homeschool my nephew. And my parents support my decision. I don't think that they fully understand. Um, there are not a lot of homeschooling families out there who look like our family. Let's just be 100% honest. Understand my decision, and especially with the way things are going in the world today, I think it's a little bit of an easier pill to swallow now, just being honest. What else? So that's basically it. Um, I will say that a lot of my fears I had in the beginning were a lot of other homeschooling parents' fears as well. I'm not a teacher. How am I supposed to teach my kids science and history and math, especially math, when I'm not a teacher? How do you do that? And how do you teach multiple kids at one time? There's so many things that I was afraid of that I think most parents who are thinking about homeschooling their children, they're afraid of as well. A lot of those fears I prayed about, and then I also just realized that if this is something that God was calling me to do, then I was going to find the right resources. I was going to find the perfect curriculum for us. I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect curriculum, but I mean for our family that was going to work. And I'm so happy that I leaned into my faith and that I just did it. It was really weird in the beginning. I'll be honest. It was really weird. Um, I didn't know what I was doing, and I mostly faked it till I made it that first year. I don't, it was like that first year was like a blur. I did my best. We went through the curriculum. I don't even think we liked it, but we just finished out our curriculum. I did my best. We read a lot. I researched a lot. I took lots of notes, and we just did it. And I'm happy that we did, because now that we're in our third year of homeschooling, like truly homeschooling, not virtual schooling or anything like that, I just feel like so blessed and thankful that I did it, and that I'm able to do it. Um, so if you have any questions on something that I mentioned but didn't go into detail, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear how other families came to homeschool. I know that COVID was a huge push for a lot of parents to homeschool their children. And if you also were kind of nudged in that direction, like we were, let me know. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have been enjoying our content. Thanks for watching. Bye.